Hi, welcome to Digitizer. Today we're going to learn 3ds Max software. So this is Autodesk 3ds Max 2015. So what is 3ds Max? It's 3D Studio Max. It's a professional 3D graphics program to make 3D animation, models, games, images, etc. So we'll learn step by step. Now first we're going to learn this user interface, how to use this software, this 3ds Max software. So when you install 3ds Max, you will get this screen. Usually some options like this ribbon will not be available in the previous versions like 3ds Max 2012 and all. First, at the top you see this is a customize quick access toolbar, like for creating a new space, open, save, undo, redo. So this is a menu bar, edit tools group. You can hide this menu bar if you want. And this new save and all is represented by icons at the top here. You can see new scene, open scene, save file, redo, undo. Next comes, this is the main toolbar you're looking at. How to change this interface. Now right click here, uncheck main toolbar. How to get this back again? Here go to customize, show UI. UI means user interface. Here we have show main toolbar. The shortcut is Alt plus 6. We'll see one by one. This is the command panel. You can see it's gone. Again you can take it from here. And we have something called show floating toolbars. These are used for multiple purpose like animation. You can work with layers like Photoshop also. And below you could see this is the track bar for animation. This is the ribbon that is not needed right now, so I have hide the ribbon right now. This is the view cube, which we say. Go to views. Here we have view cube and show the view cube. The shortcut is Alt Control plus V. Now it's seen only in this view. This is the perspective view, front, top, left. Now I want this view cube to be seen in all the views. Go to views again, view cube, show for all views. Active view is something which is selected. When any view is selected, you can see a yellow colored border line there. So that's the active view. You can see in the view cube north, east, south, west direction. You can change this to any direction or any view we want. So you can change it to right, back, left, front, top and bottom. So with this view cube also we can access, or else just press T for top, L for left, F for front, P for perspective. So I'm going to keep it as T, top view again. So you see a plus sign here. This is to maximize the viewport. By pressing Alt W, this will be maximized. You can see the Alt W option here also, maximize viewport toggle. The top, left and all those views apart from perspective are called orthogonal views. So orthogonal is showing the 3D objects in 2D view. So these are 2D views and perspective is 3D view. 3D, D stands for dimension, which means measurement of objects in direction, like specifying the length, breadth, depth and height. This configuration you are seeing, right, you can change it to views, viewport configuration. Here we have layout. If you want, some people will be very flexible in working with perspective alone, so they'll keep the top, front and left in the left hand side. So usually we'll work only with the 4 views, which is top, front, left and perspective. So they keep it like this. So this is how you can change the viewport configuration. Now how to change the color of this viewport? Go to customize, load custom UI scheme. For you, if this scene you cannot look at, you can go to C colon, program files, Autodesk 3ds Max 2015, ENUS UI. So it doesn't matter which version you're using. So it is light color right now. I'm going to change it to dark. Click on that, click on open. It will take some time to load the color on the scene. So now it's dark in color. The command panel is divided into create, modify, hierarchy, motion, display and utilities. So each are used for each purpose. Now we will create the 2D and 3D shapes from here. Like you can see, the first option is geometry, second is shapes for creating 2D shapes, and we can change those shapes into 3D or change 2D shapes into 3D, and lights, cameras, helpers. Space wraps is used for particles like creating fire and systems. So we'll go to the first option, which is geometry. If we click on this arrow drop down list, we'll get many options here. So what is a primitive? It means like basic shapes or objects, which is in 3ds Max. From that we can build or model objects. So that's called modeling. So we'll see the first standard primitives. Here we have multiple objects like box, cone, sphere, geosphere, cylinder, tube and all. First I'm going to click on box. You can click on create here, or you can go to the create menu here and standard primitives. So you can get the create in two ways. Now clicking on box, click on the grid. This is called the home grid. Click on it and you have to drag up and click once again. So a box is created. Hit W. This is called the pivot point. W is for move in X direction, Y and Z direction. So this is a view, right? So all W is to maximize this view. Now this home grid, if you do not want this home grid to be seen, go to tools, grids and snaps. You can uncheck show home grid. So it will be gone. But if you still click and drag the box here, you can see it will be created from the home grid only. E is to rotate. So when you click here, you can see a yellow color. So that means it's rotating in that direction. R is for scale. Click on the X direction, you can scale it in X, Y and Z direction. So these are the WER shortcuts. When you click on W, you can see here, this is the select and move, it gets highlighted. R, scale. We have three types of scale: scale uniform, non-uniform and scale and squash. And this is, if we click E, this scale and rotate will get highlighted. So you can click the shortcuts WER, or you can get it from this main toolbar. Okay, now I'm dragging a box in the perspective view. Click with the help of left mouse button on the mouse. Everything is left click only. Click and drag upwards or downwards. Pivot. Now how to change or increase or decrease this pivot size? Plus to increase it, minus to decrease the pivot size. Press Alt and click with the middle mouse button and you can rotate the view. If you do not want to use the shortcut, you can go down. Here you have orbit subobject. Click on this and you can rotate in the viewport. Now to escape from this, press escape key, click the middle mouse button and drag on the viewport. You can pan the view, or if you do not want to use the shortcut, come down. You see the pan view, a hand tool here. Click on it and you can pan the view. Hit escape to come out of the command. And to zoom in and zoom out, when you scroll the middle mouse button, you can see the viewport is zooming in and zooming out. And if the object is very far, you can hit Z so that the object will zoom in. You can see the object. You have to select the object for that first, or come down. You have zoom here, zoom icon, click on it. You will get a magnifier icon. Now you can zoom in and zoom out in the viewport. Go to helpers. You have an option called grid here. You have to select standard because there are multiple options in the drop down menu. Click standard and you have grid option. Go to the front view and drag a grid there. Now you can see the grid on the object. If you are not sure, check in left view. You can see the grid on the object here and on the top view here. So this is how we place the tools or objects and work in all the viewports. I'm moving the cursor on the perspective and click Alt W to maximize. Now I have to activate the grid which I have drawn from the helpers. For that, to go to select the grid first, which we have drawn. Go to tools, grids and snaps, and activate the grid object. Now you can see the home grid is gone. And now if I click on cylinder, and you can see I can only draw from the grid object. So there is no more home grid here. So like this you can draw objects upon objects with the help of grid object. I'll go and activate the home grid again. Tools, grids and snaps, activate home grid. Now I'm deleting the grid object, but still the object would be there on the scene from where we have created. We can also change the pivot position here. Go to hierarchy, the command panel. Here we have affect pivot only. Click on that and you will see a boundary line of the green color and the red color. You can click and you can move to any place you want. For example, let me keep it in the end. Now I'll again click on it, so it will come out of that, and now you can see the pivot is at this end. So when I move or when I rotate is E. When I rotate, it rotates from that pivot point. We have another grid option which is called auto grid. I'll click on any object, the standard primitives. Auto grid option, you can check on it. When you check it, you can see the pivot on any object or on the home grid or a. So that means we can draw any object from upon any object. So I have clicked on pyramid. Now I can see the pivot on this cube. So I can draw the pyramid on from this cube top. I am unchecking the auto grid option right now. For example, if I am clicking on this object right now, there at the top in the command panel you have the modify. Click on it and there are many parameters here, like you can increase or decrease the length, the width, the height, and you can also add segments. So this is for every object you draw here. Like if you are drawing a cone, Click on the home grid, move it upwards or downwards, and click again and drag inward or upwards. If you drag outward, you will have a cone like this. Drag inwards, you will have a cone like this. If you go to modify, you'll have radius 1, radius 2, radius 3, height, cap, sides, slice on also we have, where we can create half of the objects. Sphere, you can see the polygon sides, and on the geosphere, if I click and drag, you can see triangles here. So that's the difference between sphere and geosphere. So you can try the cylinder, tube, torus, pyramid. We have another option which is teapot. Click and drag, go to modify. We have we can adjust the radius, can adjust the segments and make it smooth by increasing the segments. We have the teapot parts, like if you do not want the body, you can uncheck it. If you do not want the handle, you can uncheck it or check it. Export or lid. If you do not want the lid, you can uncheck it. So these are the options of teapot. We'll maximize the top view by clicking Alt W again. Now I'm clicking on the snaps toggle. It gets blue in color, that means it's highlighted. You can see a yellow color rectangular box coming up. So what happens is, when I go to this box which I have created, it becomes green, and when I go to the end points, it becomes yellow. You can see a green color thing coming up. So you can right click and see the options. It says vertex edge segment. If I uncheck edge segment and click close it, so it will snap to the vertex of the box. You can see a yellow color there when it's snapping. So this is how you can place the objects exactly on any other object by snapping the tools, by snaps toggle. Now we have another thing which is angle snap. I'm going in the front view. Now this is the cone I have created. Now if I hit E, I can rotate it, and you can see the values at the bottom. We do not know how much values it's rotating, so we need to know exact values of the rotation. For that we use angle snap. So click on angle snap, and when you rotate now, you can see at the bottom it says -5, -10, -20 and -35 options. Now right click on that angle snap toggle. You can see in the angle it says 5.0. That means it's having the angle snap of 5 points, like 5 units we can rotate the cone. Now if I want to increase it, for example, if I increase it to 20 and hit OK, close the box. Now if you rotate, you can see it will rotate to 20 units. Percent snap is for the scale option. Press R. Now click on the middle and scale it. You can see the values increasing or decreasing 10%. And if you right click on the percent snap toggle, you can also increase or decrease the percent values. If I'm increasing to 20 and close it, and now if you scale it, you can see you can scale up to 20 units. Zoom and multiple zoom all, zoom extends all and zoom extends all options. So zoom all is, it will zoom all the objects in the viewport. It's a similar like the zoom command. Zoom extend selected, like I have 3 objects in the viewport. If I select the cone and click on zoom extend selected, you can see the selected object alone zooms up. Zoom extend all is whatever objects you have in the viewport, everything it will be shown. Like if you are working in the viewport like this, and if you click zoom extends all, you can see all the objects which are present in the viewport. And you can also change the color of the objects. Click on the object and go here, and you can change the color here. To give more detailing coloring like metal, wood, etc., we go to the material editor, which is here, or the shortcut is type M or press M on the keyboard. So you'll get this material editor. So we learn about all this in texturing classes. Select the object, go to modify, and we have multiple modifier lists here, multiple modifiers we see. So the modifier which we'll use often, or which we'll use every time to build an object, is the edit poly. Editable poly we'll use for polygon modeling. Nerves we'll use for nerves modeling, and we also have spline modeling. So we'll learn about the polygon modeling. Before that, we have to know what is a vertex, what is an edge, what is a polygon. So when I click on this box or any object, right click, convert to editable poly, you see an option coming here, and you cannot see the box here on the stack on this modifier list. But I want the actual object, the box here, to be seen, as well as the edit poly. For that, we'll go to the modifier list and we'll select the option edit poly. So you can see the original object plus the edit poly option here. So that's the difference between editable poly and edit poly. You have a plus sign here near to the edit poly option. Click on it. You have vertex, edge, border, polygon, element. So what is a vertex? Select vertex, it will be highlighted in blue color. You can see these points here, the blue color points which you see on the viewport. You can select those points and you can modify the object. Edge is the segments or the lines on any object. So that is why we increase the segment, so that we can select the segment and you can modify the segments. And polygon option is the whole face of an object. This is called a face or a polygon. You can select an object face and you can modify it. And the element is, we can select the whole object. You can modify the whole object. So these are the edit poly or editable poly options. And in the next video, we'll start building small objects or modeling small objects. So if you want to learn more in detail, please register to our website, which is www.digitizer.in, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching.